Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I'm Lena Lilith, and welcome back to another video by the Continuing Life System. Today, I'll be talking about BDSM terms. These will be some of the most common used terms in the BDSM community. This is not a catch-all that you can watch and become a master in no time. Like I said earlier in the BDSM The Basics video, you must do your research. These next few points come from an amazing book called BDSM Basics for Beginners by Michelle Fegetofi. I'm probably mispronouncing that, which I deeply apologize for. I highly, highly, highly recommend this book if you are interested in the basics and kind of just dipping your toe into BDSM. We got this on Amazon probably about a year ago, and my partners and I love it. Now, let's kind of dive into some of these terms. Top, dominant, dom, domme, or domi, as I've heard pronounced many times over. These are titles that are used to refer to the person who is in charge, the person who must be obeyed. These are not 24/7 roles, but are instead used during a scene and other BDSM type settings. And as you see, some people pronounce it dome, which is used to refer to a female dominant. However, I've heard it pronounced many different ways. So I guess you can kind of go along with however your dom refers to them as. Master and mistress. These titles are used to describe the person in control in a master-slave relationship. These relationships are 24/7, which means they're in the dynamic all the time, or they go into their specific roles anytime that they're together. Bottom, submissive. These titles refer to the person who gives up their control to a dominant. They receive some form of like satisfaction of any type. Sorry, my computer's freaking out for a second. Bottom, submissive. These titles refer to the person who gives up their control to a dominant. They receive some form of satisfaction from one or more aspects of submission. Slave. This title refers to the deepest level of submission. They freely surrender all rights and privileges to their master or dominant. Switch. This title refers to someone who plays both dominant and submissive roles. As I explained earlier in another video, switches are typically in relationship with other switches or have multiple partners. There's no one way that's better than another. It simply depends on the individual and what their needs are. Consent. Honestly, I wish I could bold, italics, underline, and highlight this definition. Consent is key. It is the mutual agreement to the terms of the scene and/or ongoing BDSM relationship. Hear that? Mutual agreement. Consent. Dungeon monitor or master. This is someone who volunteers to supervise the interactions between participants at a play party to help ensure everyone's safety. And in some cases, there might even be more than one if it's on a grander scale. DS. This refers to domination and submission. However, it's also used to refer to a DS relationship, meaning dominant and submissive. For those of you who have seen 50 Shades of Grey, you hear Christian bring up his quote-unquote playing room. Well, this is just another way of saying the room with BDSM equipment that play may be done in. Fetish. A specific obsession that brings delight during an experience. Ever heard of a foot fetish? Yep, that would go here. Or maybe an oral fixation / fetish? Yep, all bring joy to the person. And yes, there are more than just that in the whole fetish department. I could probably make a couple hour-long video just discussing fetishes, so I'm not going to do that here, and I don't think I'm going to, but just know there's a lot of fetishes out there. A munch. Munches are where a group of BDSM people gather together and hang out at a vanilla location. Yes, we don't always meet in a dungeon. Sometimes we might meet at a local coffee shop for coffee. And even more, they look like quote-unquote normal people. No chains and whips here. Newbie. Honestly, if you don't know what this is, it's pretty self-explanatory. We use it all the time in our vanilla lives. Someone who's new to insert thing here. In this case, they're a newbie to BDSM. Negotiation. Honestly, I stole this word for word from that book I showed you earlier by Michelle, and the reason is because they explain this so freaking well. Negotiation is the consensual agreement or agreements between top and bottom, spoken or written in contract form, outlining hard limits, punishments, and expected behaviors. It explains everything you need to know and sounds so beautiful and official. Play party. One of my good friends told me that play parties are literally like BDSM sleepover parties. No, you don't literally stay the entire night. However, it's an event that lots of people come to, and they can participate in scenes individually or all together, again, with consent. Protocols. These are the written or unwritten rules and regulations that BDSM participants use, and are most commonly used in 24/7 dynamics. Does anyone ever remember rack from our previous video? Even if you do, it's still good to kind of review it. Risk-aware consensual kink. This is a reminder to participants to be aware of any risk that may be involved during play. Another one to remember, SSC. Safe, sane, consensual. Safe means that you take the time to identify and try to prevent risk to yours and their health. This includes mental, physical, and emotional. Sane. Participate in playing when you are in the right mindset. If you're angry, please don't. If you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol, again, please don't. This is not safe. Consensual. Fully informed consent from all participants, you and your partner or partners. Safe word or gesture. This is a word or action that is used to end the scene or that specific play. Always have a safe word. Things can be going great and then all of a sudden you have a major headache and need to stop. That's okay. That's what safe words are for. Communication. Agree upon what your safe word and or gesture is during the negotiation process, that all participants know what they are. And in case I forgot to mention it, safe words and gestures aren't just for the submissive. It's also for the dominant as well. They can be going through something too. Scene. A scene refers to the time period where you are in a BDSM activity. The scene refers to your involvement in the entire lifestyle as a whole. Subspace and dom space. We hear about them all the time. However, they are mental alterations that someone can obtain either by themselves or with help of the other. This is not, repeat, not for newbies. This requires constant monitoring during and after, and aftercare is a must. Again, basically stole this from them because, again, the definition, it's too perfect. Vanilla refers to someone or something that does not encompass BDSM or BDSM activities, meaning you going to the grocery store to pick up some milk. Yep, grocery store, kind of under the vanilla category. Wannabe. Yep, BDSM has this too. Someone who thinks they know about BDSM, but in reality knows little to nothing about it. This is most commonly seen in new dominants, like those who watched 50 Shades of Grey or read the book and decided, I'm a master, I know what I'm doing. Please, don't believe them. They're wannabes, they know nothing. However, it is not limited to the dominant. Sometimes you might have a submissive who is also subject to this as well. Now, I apologize, this video is probably a little longer than most. There are literally too many terms to go over. I could have hours worth of terms, but then you probably wouldn't watch too many of my videos. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found this video on BDSM terms to be helpful and informative. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you'd like to hear more from us, please hit subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified when we post new content. Stay safe and stay kinky. Bye.